This conference will now be recorded.
So to introduce myself, my name is Rajashekar and you can call me Raj, and I'll be taking care of this full stack Java training course. Coming to my experience, I'm having totally 15 plus years of real-time experience and more than 23 plus years of training experience. And I've done trainings to major IT companies, more than 50 IT MNC companies have done the training part. Now, coming to our course, full stack Java. First of all, we should know what is this full stack. What is this full stack? Let us understand. So what is this full stack web development? So for that, I'm going to draw a diagram. Full stack development. Full stack development. So what we are going to do in this full stack web development is, here, if you remember, like you might have used it like Gmail or any other mails or any other login details. So we go with something like login, where we accept what from the user, username and password. Here we are going to accept the username and password. If you consider like Gmail or any other mails or any other applications, we are going to accept the username, password, and we are going to have a login button or sign up, something like this. Here we are going to have the text fields where we are going to type the username and password, and we click on this login button. So this, whatever we are seeing on the browser screen, the thing whatever we see on the browser screen, we call it as front end. Call it as what here? Front end. Okay, so the content what we display on the browser. Right? Now, once we type the username and some password, when you click on this login, what is going to happen is, it is going to connect to a server. We are going to have a server where the application will be running, So here we are going to have a server which we call it as the backend. We call it as what here? Backend, where we maintain a server where application will be running. And this backend is developed using what technologies? We develop by using Java technology. In Java, we make use of servlets or JSP or Spring, MVC, Spring Boot, like this. Okay, so Spring related, or we can even go for .NET technology. When we go with .NET, we make use of ASP.NET. We can make use of Python. In the Python, we can use Django. Then we can make use of PHP, like this. We are in different technologies to go for backend. Now, once we type our username and password, when you click on login, it connects to your server, and the data which is going from browser to server, we call them as request. Call them as what? Here, request. Now, once you make a request, it will go to backend. In the backend, using the technology like it may be with Java or .NET or Python or PHP, what we are going to do, where our details will be stored, all our details. See here, when you go with Gmail, we register, right? We create one Gmail. So when you are creating Gmail, we are going to register. We are going to create as a new user. So where our details will be stored when you create a new email ID, it is stored where? In the database, right? All our details are present where? In the database. All our details are present in the database. So in database, we collect the data in the form of tables. So our details will be present in the table. So Our details will be present in the table over here. So the user and the password. So what is going to happen? From backend, it connects to your database and checks whether our data is present in the database or not. Then it is going to give the response back here. Means whether the data is present or not present, something like this. Then once the response comes to this backend, then it is going to display the result back onto the browser. Like if you take Gmail, once you type username and password, the data goes to backend. Backend will connect to database. Database will return the result back to this server, and server is going to provide the response back here. It's going to provide the response back onto the browser. Right? Yeah. Hello, Rahul.
Oh, yeah. Shwetab, from
Hello.
Shwetab.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, just we started about full stack development. Like the front end part, we are going to have front end part, back end part, and database. So the data what we are going to type in the browser, whatever we fill, whatever we see on the browser, that we call it as front end. That we call front end. And wherever the processing will happen, the data is going to process here, that we call back end. It will happen in the server side. To do this server side, we use the technologies like Java or .NET or Python or PHP, and it is going to connect to database, where it is going to check whether our data is present in the database or not. Now, this front end, if you are taking care of only front end, then we call them as front end developers. Front end developers, or we call them as UI developers, web developers. Right? We call them as front-end developers, UI developer, web developer, like this. And the technologies what we use to develop this, we use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Angular, or React. Anyone only we use Angular or React. Okay. So if you are having idea on these technologies, then we call them as front-end developers or UI developers or web developers. If you are having idea only on the backend side, so if you are having idea on this backend, so we call them as backend developers, or we can say Java developers, .NET developers, Python developers, PHP developer, like this. Okay, so they'll be taking care of only the backend part. Then if you are having idea on this database, then we call them as database developers. Okay, we call them as DBA, database administrator. Okay, and the technologies what we use, we are having like MySQL, we can go with Oracle, we can use SQL Server, like this. Right? Now, if you are able to develop the complete thing, means you should be able to manage your front end part, back end part, and even the database part. If you are able to manage everything, then we call them as full stack developers. We call them as what here? Full stack developers. Clear, all of you? What is the meaning of full stack? Full stack means you should be able to manage front end, back end, and even the database also. Clear, Gautami and Parimala, the meaning of full stack?
Yes.
Right?
Got it.
Right. Now here we are going to go with what? Full stack Java. We are going to become what? Full stack Java development here. So majority of the part will be Java related. So when you say full stack Java means we will be concentrating more on the backend side. So our 80% of the codes will be on backend, then remaining 10% will be on front end, and 10% will be on database. But you should be very good enough with the backend side. So backend is the very important for us, as we are going with what? Full stack Java development. If you say only full stack web, we call even full stack web means you should be good enough with the front end part. Only front end, if you are good, that's enough. So backend a basic idea is enough for full stack web development. But if you go with full stack Java development, you should be good enough with the complete Java here. So coming to the contents, this course full stack Java, I've divided into some categories like we initially go with core Java, then we go with the database concepts, then we go with advanced Java, then very important one, frameworks, and we discuss some real-time tools. Then we go with a project here. Coming to this core Java, even we call it as Java SC. Java SC. Java SC stands for Java Standard Edition. Java SC stands for what? Java Standard Edition. Then the main use of going with SC is used to develop standalone or desktop applications. Used to develop standalone or desktop applications. So can you take examples of standalone applications? Standalone application means like calculator, Paint, MS Office like Word, Excel, all these are desktop applications. Once we install the application on our system, we need not connect to other system to run our application. It is independent. That's the reason the name has come standalone. And in this core Java, we go with the concepts like initially we start off with programming concepts. So in the next class, tomorrow we are going to start off with programming concepts. So what is the need of these programming concepts is whenever you want to learn any programming language like C or C++ or Java or .NET or Python, we should have a basic idea on this programming concepts. Once you have basic idea on these concepts, entering into any programming language will be easy. So for that reason, we are going to initially do this programming concepts. Then we go with Java introduction. We'll learning download and install Java. Download and install Java. We'll go with the 21 version. Then we'll be learning how to developing a Java application. Java application at command prompt. Since in my case, my operating system is Windows, I'll be showing how to develop a application at command prompt. Even I'll be guiding you how to go with Mac OS also. I'll be guiding how to go with Mac. Then I'll be going with download and install Eclipse IDE. So in our codes, we are going to make use of Eclipse IDE to develop our Java projects. Then we'll be going with developing a Java application in Eclipse IDE. Right? So this completes our basic part, the introduction part of Java. Then once we complete this introduction part, we enter into Java basics. So this is the place where we will be learning about the terminologies like the meaning of comments, keywords, variables, data types, operators, scanner class, if statement, switch statement, while loop, do while loop, for loop, like this. Right? So this is the place where we increase our programming and logical skills. So this is from this basic converts, I'll be start giving assignments to you, which you need to do and submit it back. The next one, arrays. So can anyone say what is the use of arrays?
There's a multiple data which is under same category, same day,
Very
same
good.
data.
Very good. So in order to store collection of data. In order to collect some multiple values or multiple elements, we make use of arrays. The next and very important topic here is Java OOP, means object oriented programming. This is the main part of Java. If you are good with this object oriented programming, the understanding remaining topics of Java will be easy for us. In this object oriented programming, we'll be learning about the meaning of classes, objects, this keyword, constructors, static keyword, packages, inheritance, polymorphism, final keyword, access modifiers, inner classes, encapsulation, abstract classes, interfaces, like this. So this is very important, and this will take totally 5 classes for us to complete on this. If you are good with this, remaining topics of Java will be easy for us. The next one, LAN package. The meaning of package is like it's a collection of related classes. It's like a folder concept only, where we store some related files. Now, similar way, package means it's a collection of related classes. So what is class? Everything I'll be discussing in the next classes. Then, in this LAN package, we discuss about the predefined classes like object class, string class, string buffer class, string builder class, math class, wrapper classes like this. The next and very important one is exception handling. Exception handling. The meaning of exception is a runtime error. Once we type the program, in order to see the result of our application, we have to run it. So during that situation only we call runtime. So during that time, we get some errors due to some abnormal situations. Once that error occurs, that runtime error we call it as exception. So once exception occurs, it is going to terminate the application, which is not a good programming. So to avoid that abnormal termination only, we make use of this exception handling. The next important one is multi-threading. So can anyone take examples of multitasking? Examples of multitasking? Right, we have opening multiple applications, like you are typing a document in Word and listening to the songs. Okay, multiple applications are opened. In my case, I have opened browser, notepad, paint, GoToMeeting like this. That is multitasking. Then what is a thread? Threads are part of one task here. So if you take Gmail, in Gmail is a task. How many compose windows we can open in Gmail? Multiple. Every compose window what we open, it's a thread. Then when you go with attachments, we can attach multiple. Every attachment what you are doing, it's a thread. When one attachment is going on, I can even attach second, third like that. When attachments are going on, I can even type the subject and body of the message. So what is advantage? These only we call threads. So Gmail is a multi-threaded application. So what is advantage? We get performance. I need not wait, one thing should get completed. Right? One more good example like GoToMeeting. So in this GoToMeeting, it's a task. I can share the screen, it's a thread. I can record the class, it's a thread. I can speak with you, it's a thread. All the things are happening simultaneously. Right? The next and one more very important is collections. By using arrays also we can collect the data. By using collections also we can collect the data. Then what is the difference is, when you go with arrays, we have to mention the size. We have to mention the size, how many elements we want to collect. Like example, if you go with size as 50, we can collect maximum 50 elements only. We cannot decrease or increase the size. So arrays are fixed size. But in reality, we cannot go with fixed sizes. That's the place where we go with collections. Very important. Any project you take in Java, we use collections in that. That much important it is. Okay. Next one, lambda expressions, functional interface, Stream API. I cannot discuss more on this now. The next topic is IO package. The meaning of IO is like input output. The need of this IO package is like whatever the programs we write during runtime, the data what we use, it is temporary data where we can store data permanently in our hard disk, either in the form of data files or database tables. This IO package is mainly to manage the data files. This IO package is mainly to manage what? Data files. Once we complete this IO package, we come to this database concepts. So here even we call it as SQL concepts. In our course, we are going to make use of MySQL database. We will be learning MySQL. Once we complete this MySQL, we'll go back to core part and we complete one more topic, JDBC, Java database connectivity. From our Java program, we can connect to the databases. Very, very important one. Right? So this completes our core part. Once we complete this core, we are having one more, like I missed out, web technologies. This even we call UI design or front-end design. Under this web technologies, we'll be going with the topics like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, XML, JSON, TypeScript, and Angular. So these are the topics we'll be covering under this web technologies. Then we move to this advanced Java, even we call it as Java EE. Java EE stands for Java Enterprise Edition. And the main use is used to develop web applications. It's for web applications. Like we are having web applications now, Amazon, Flipkart, Book My Show, Make My Trip, all these are web applications. Okay. The topics what we cover is servlets and JSP. JSP stands for Java Server Pages. Once we complete this Java EE, we move to the next category, very, very important one, frameworks. Nowadays, any project we take, we are going to make use of frameworks in that. Then why can't we learn frameworks directly? Means not possible at all. So the code, whatever we write under that, we write that code using your core part, web technologies and advanced Java. So if you are having good idea on this prior background only, we can write the code on frameworks. Now, in our codes, we are going to learn the frameworks like Hibernate Framework and Spring Framework. Spring Framework. Under Spring, it goes with the modules like Spring Core or Bean module, Spring DAO module, very, very important one, and it's mainly for database connection. So where we go with three submodules like Spring JDBC module, Spring ORM module, where we integrate with Hibernate, then Spring Data JPA. Right? We go with one more module like Spring MVC module, mainly used to develop web applications. It's for web applications. Spring Boot module, Spring REST module. The use of REST module is used to develop REST APIs. The meaning of REST API is like distributed applications. Distributed means one application can communicate to another application. Like if you take example like Amazon, after adding the products into the cart, we want to go with the payment. So that payment process comes under distributed. Even we'll be going with microservices, using Spring Boot. Right? Once we complete these frameworks, in between the course only, we will be going with the real-time tools, like we go with Maven, JUnit, Postman, Lombok, GitHub, like this. So in between the course only, we will be discussing these tools. And finally, we go with the project. I'll be giving the project to you. So project using Spring Boot and Angular, means the front end part is done by using Angular and the backend is with Spring Boot, and the database, the backend, complete backend, the data where we store the data is MySQL database. Right? So these are the contents what we discussed during our course, and the duration goes approximately 55 to 60 hours. 55 to 60 hours, approximately 2.5 to 3 months. So maximum 3 months. It won't cross 3 months maximum. The time is Monday to Friday at 7 a.m. IST. And the class will go 1 hour approximately. 1 hour approximately. It won't cross 1 hour. Below 1 hour only we'll be completing. So we'll be going with the topic, and once we complete the topic, we'll close. So if you're having some queries, we'll discuss, but I won't cross 1 hour. Then the people who are in US or Canada, for US or Canada candidates, it is Sunday to Thursday. Sunday to Thursday evening time. It will be for your evening time. Go to meeting link is permanent. Go to meeting link is what? Permanent. So till the end of the course, this link will be same to us. Okay. Then the recordings, the class notes, recordings, diagrams, programs, everything, programs will be shared after the class. So within 2 hours. In 2 hours after the class, we'll be sharing. Right? Please download the recordings onto your local machine. Whatever the recording I'm sending, please download that recordings onto your local machine. Right? So that's about from my end.